So today I thought we'd take a look at C9 versus the Guard, a match between two very good teams, and obviously on the new patch it's very interesting to see how things are going to change, and we're going to watch the first map of Bind where we got the double Brim. With the Guard, we have them running the good old Ascend comp. C9 went for a bit of a weirder comp all in all that I'm not sure that they might go forward with. I mean, you got Leaf here on the Breach, which is again a bit weird, especially if you watch the third map. But first of all, what I really want to talk about here on this first round, actually not so much Brim, we will get into some of the Stimmies, don't you worry, but the first round here, the first pistol round, we got the Guard on the attack, and the one thing I want you to notice is, obviously we've got, pretty much everyone on this A site, just the Rays here on B site all alone. But what I want you to notice is actually the Viper setup, because when I was talking about, what controllers will be meta on each map, that video, I talked about how on Bind, you still might see Viper. And both teams were running Viper, and I think for good reason. And the good reason is that you can still use this wall and setup. And I said it's very important that you're able to walk from here all the way up here with enough time from 100 to 0 fuel and still be able to have both up and get all the way across. And we're going to see that come into pretty big importance right in this round, because here we go, because we've got that Viper utility up. We know that some of the Guard players are in shower, and that's where the majority of them are, but Trent here on the sky is going to be able to walk up here, and we're seeing it right on the screen now that C9 are a bit aware that I wonder if anyone's crossing up there, but they can't tell, and because there's so much going on in shower, that's going to come back and make a big impact in this round. So let's run it forward and see that play out. So you can see that that they're taking a look over towards Trent there, but they can't see anything. And what they wanted to do here was stop, because they knew that people were in showers. They wanted to stop the kind of plant with the wall, where they just like wall off this, and just giving themselves just enough space to plant the spike and plant in that corner and just play in shower. Because on a pistol round, destroying that wall is going to take some time, and it's not going to go well for them. So C9 decide to try and get a bit aggressive with it, which is probably the right choice. And it goes okay for them, they trade it out. But Trent there starts causing a nuisance, because when that Viper utility comes down, he's, in the right spot, and then he's able to wrap all the way around U-Haul, as you just saw, and get those final kills as well. So that is why, I still think that Viper will be pretty good on this map, is because that Viper setup is still possible, and still can get you, into this spot, which is really all it's there for. But now let's take a look at round number 9 and get our first little action from the Stim beacon. And it's going to happen here on long. As you can see, we've got the Stim beacon and out they go. And Mitch here is trying to get the orb. And that's not going to go well for him. And that is something that I think we might see less of, because it actually happens again in this same game. And if you didn't believe me, well, here it is, because it's round 16. It's actually the other team doing it this time. We get the Stim beacon on long, and again, we get someone trying to take the orb and dying. So I do think that that is something that, we will see, maybe less of with these Brims, because if you do put this Stim beacon down here and there's multiple people there, they can get to this spot very, very fast. And, I think even before the Stim beacon, it's still possible to punish someone for doing that at the start of the round. But I feel like you'd have to hit like the one-tap headshot as they were running away. Whereas with the Stim beacon, you can just spray through the smoke. You can just spray through the smoke, and with the Stim beacon, of course, you're shooting even faster. And we saw it twice there where, they got punished spamming through the smoke. And now let's come back to round number 10 for the Guard. And again, we are going to get a fast little Stimmy, really fast take on shower here, and then we're going to see the wraparound and punish from the other two players as well. And one thing that I want to say is, we saw it with those other Stim beacons as well, is often what both teams were doing was using a Stim beacon to take control of a certain area much faster. It was often either, this B-long area or the shower. The idea being that, you can get to like here or here, faster than maybe your opponent would expect, and get some early control with that Stim beacon. That's how both teams were kind of using the Stim beacons early on. And I think, that's a pretty effective way of using them, and we saw that. But on this round, we saw more of a sort of full take with the Stim beacon, more of a sort of run it down their throat. As you can see here, we're going to get the rays with the satchel. We're going to get a flash in there. We're going to go fast, right? And we already have them. I mean, look at this. We've already got the 3 smokes down from the Brim. We've got the dog coming in here through shower. We've got full shower control. And I want you to watch the timing, because these two do very well to time this well with what's going on. Because they know that, when this dog sees 2 people, that you know, they have worse guns as well. That, you know, they're probably going to retreat after, you know, being stunned from the dog because they know that there's a lot of pressure there. And so the punish is actually going to come from the wrap around. But I want you to look at the timing because these two haven't moved yet. And this is something that you might want to think about. And the reason that they haven't moved yet is because, you know, they're still waiting for these smokes to make sure that, you know, there's no one peeking here and that they don't just die straight away to a random sheriff shot or something there. So they still don't want that to happen. But also, you know, they're still waiting for the pressure of their teammates here in shower to make an impact on those players so that they aren't looking at them when they're about to make this walk down. So that's the key element, that we get these seekers coming out here as well. And now, you know, the distraction for these two is that they have to deal with the seekers and turn around. And that's the cue for the two on short to kind of wrap around. And you'll see there, you know, they're just not looking at them. They get that first kill. And then, you know, Vanity obviously has a worse gun. He's going to get killed as well. And I just thought that this was kind of a nice sort of, you know, a way of taking a site, kind of showing that Brim, you know, those fast smokes going fast with the stim beacon. And then the nice sort of coordination between the two sides of the team. And another round we have to really watch here is round number 11, because here are the defenders. These are not the attackers. These are the defenders, and C9 are going to go for this aggressive push. And they have rifles as well. This is something you normally see on like a save, but they're going to do it with rifles. And I thought that this would be quite interesting to show you how the guard react to it, because the guard are playing, you know, a bit more of a normal default that's spread across the map. And I think it's interesting for, you know, if you're wondering, like, how should I play if defenders just come at me, you know, and are just like running it down and, you know, just attacking me as an attacker, you know, what should I do? How should I react? Because we're going to watch this Raze and Sage and how they react. So as we run this forward, you know, we're going to get the stim beacon. We're going to go fast, right? And Jonah P's ready for some of it, probably not this many players. And he actually misses his op shot there as well. But we get some support from the Raze, but then they get ulted, and so the pressure is really on in this moment. But what they're able to do is use their utility to get out. We send a boombot down there, we're going to send a nade down there, we're going to send a slow down there, and at this point, you know, there's no way they can push through a nade plus a slow, they'll just die. So they successfully managed to just retreat, and that is what you need to do as well. Forget fighting. That Sage missed that shot, she was gone, right? That Raze was constantly, you know, took a couple shots, was gone straight away, and then using your utility to get out, because that's all you really need to do is live. Because then if you can, like, especially on a map like Bind where, you know, there is no mid, really, it allows you to, you know, now they can just group up here and attack the solo Viper on the site. And that's what they're going to do. And they're going to get a free plant for it because the Viper can't do anything about it. So as we run this forward, you're going to see that they're able to basically get the spike down with no fighting. The Viper has just had to stay back here the entire time because there's nothing the Viper can do. You know, you're in a 5v1. You're not going to do anything. Now, as we run this round forward, so it gets a bit crazy. We're going to see a really nice flash here through the smoke and a good play by Trent, but then he's going to die to reloading, essentially. He actually dies to this overall. Then we get this, it's a crazy thing. But I want you to watch Net's timing here as well, because he could push through the smoke at any time, but the patience he shows here is really quite good. His shooting afterwards isn't perfect, but his patience was really good, and he ends up getting one, and he ends up getting the second as well. But Leaf the whole time, and I don't quite know why this was. I don't know if they didn't hear the tap on the spike or something, but Leaf was just able to stick it the entire way and get the defuse. And so the Brimmy was a bit late. I don't quite know why that was, you know, with all the chaos going on site. But either way, I thought it was a really good reaction from the guard and a really just interesting round as a whole. And another similar thing came from the guard, and this was on their defensive side now. So we've got the guard here with a stack. They're on a save this time. So they've got a stack on shower and a 2 here towards long as well. And they're going to make this shower push. And I thought this, again, was a very good reaction by C9 and how you should react to this kind of aggression. But that is exactly what we're going to get. We're going to get the stim beacon. We're going to get, you know, our players running it down here, ready to fight out this out. And it actually starts out okay for them. Then they get the sky flash through the teleporter with both the Sage and the sky coming out. Trent's able to get one. But now, you know, C9 have accounted for quite a few players, and here comes the wraparound from all of the guard, and yeah, this is just a crazy round. I mean, if we look at the map, you'll you'd have a hard time wondering what was going on. But yeah, all the guard are here, and very smart, you know, from what C9 do here, because they're going to take the TP. You know, they know that, okay, 2 have TP'd across. We've seen at least 2 in shower, you know, so at least 4 are there. We can take a 4v1 if there is someone on this B site, and obviously we can tell that there isn't, and they're on a save anyway, so C9 feel pretty confident there, and it just, like, stops what the guard are trying to do. Taking the teleport, you know, just gives them that free access to where they feel safe all of a sudden, and they're going to go on and win this round.